What's going on, guys? Nick Ehrlich here with the Lean Life Revolution, and today we're talking about back training tips. Now, back training is super important for creating a nice, lean, toned, muscular physique. It gives us that nice V-taper, it pulls our shoulders up and back, and it can look really great when you're wearing a bathing suit or your shirt's off when you've got a sculpted, muscular, toned back. But it doesn't happen on its own. Back training is really difficult for a lot of people. One of the big reasons is because people can't see their back while they train, so it's really hard to get a focused contraction in the muscles in your posture, your chain, and your upper body. So what I've done is I've laid out 4 tips for you that are going to help you connect to the muscles in your back and train the muscles in your back more effectively so you can get that lean, toned, V-taper physique that you've been craving so badly. So first things first, the most important thing for an effective back workout is to warm up properly. Now, when you're training your back as opposed to training your chest or your shoulders or any other muscles in your upper body, is that when you're training your back, there are a lot more muscles at work at any moment in time, and there's a greater risk for injury or for incorrect form. So when I train my lower back, when I train my back, I make sure to warm up my lower back as well as my shoulders, okay? Your shoulders and your lower back have to be really warm and really loosened up in order to get an effective back workout. Because remember, even though you're training the muscles in back, all this motion is happening at your shoulder joint. So this needs to be nice and warmed up. And your lower back has got to be nice and warmed up because as we talk about hitting our angles and changing our movements, we got to make sure that that lumbar region is really warmed up and ready to handle the workload that we're going to throw at it. So when I warm up my back, I like to do Y raises, which is something that we've talked about on this channel before, super important exercise. And then I also like to do a hip bridge to make sure that my glutes and my lower back are ready for any kind of bent over motion that I'm going to do during my back workout. And my Ys warm up my shoulder joint to make sure they're ready for any kind of pulling motion. Now, after I hit those 2 exercises, I'll typically then go into some kind of light, high volume rowing or pulling exercise to make sure that my biceps and my lats and all my other smaller muscles are warmed up, but I make sure that I hit my shoulders and my lower back before I start. So warming up properly is one of the first and most important things that you need to consider when effectively training the muscles in your back. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is hitting all the angles, okay? Now, the nice thing about training back is you have this incredible variance in what you can do exercise-wise. So when I train my back, I like to make sure that I get all 3 angles of back training in. Now, first things first, I think of an overhead pulling movement. Most importantly, this is pull-ups. It's one of the greatest exercises you can do for total body muscular development, but it's one of the best back exercises and one of the best strength gainers as well as tone and muscle shapers. So a pull-up, a lat pull down, a band pull down, any motion where I'm pulling from top to bottom, that's my first angle that I like to train after I've warmed up because it's one of the most difficult, especially when you're doing a pull-up. So think about first training top to bottom. Next, I think of an exercise where I pull right to me, okay? And this is typically going to be at a palms neutral angle with my palms facing each other like this. So whereas a pull down or a pull up is going to have my palms forward, something like a row, a dumbbell row, a cable row, my palms are most likely going to be neutral. So where I'm training my upper back and my upper lats with this high pull, with this pull that's kind of at chest or stomach level, that's going to be more my mid lats. So I'm going to hit that medium angle. And then a low angle where I pull from low to high lets me train like my traps and kind of up top again. It also helps me shape my lower back. I'd also consider in that low angle maybe a deadlift or a rack pull as an effective exercise. And the nice thing is that because we're working our back from so many different angles, back training lends itself really nicely to circuit training, to teaming those exercises together to make sure you keep things moving. Now, next, 3, and this really is most important, but I just thought of it third, so it's down here. Protecting your back, specifically your lower back, when you're doing any kind of back training motion. It is super easy when you're doing anything, especially when you're bent over, like a bent over barbell row, a bent over dumbbell row, anything where you're bent forward, to round your back, to curve like this, round out your shoulders, let your lower back round. And I see a lot of people make that mistake, especially with deadlifts and bent rows. It's super important whenever you do an exercise where you're bent forward training your back, that your shoulders are back, your butt is up and out, and when you're creating a nice neutral spine, bending your knees and sticking your butt up and out behind you is going to help you protect your back. Now, finally, this is one of my favorite back training tips. Pinch your shoulders. I like to pretend that there is like an orange between my shoulder blades whenever I'm rowing or pulling, and I pull my shoulders blades back and try to juice that orange with my shoulders as I pull. If you pinch your shoulder blades together, down and back behind you, you're gonna really engage all those muscles in the posterior chain of your upper body, and you're gonna really get a great squeeze in those lats. And then when you release that weight, whatever the exercise is, you let that lat lengthen, and then don't really release that pinch in your shoulder blades. Your shoulders stay back, so your shoulder stays in a nice protected position, but we lengthen our lats without dropping our whole body forward. So, your 4 back training tips. 1, make sure to warm up properly. 2, hit all your angles while training. 3, protect your lower back. And 4, squeeze your shoulder blades together whenever you're doing a pulling movement to fully engage your lats. Now, here's what you're gonna do right now. First, you're gonna subscribe to this channel by clicking this link below. And then next, you're gonna go to this little icon on the top corner of your screen to get our free ab training video, where we're gonna show you 5 ab training exercises that you should be doing if you want dirty, cut up, washboard abs, glistening in the sun, cut up like a bag of dope abdominals. Go to that link right up there, click on that. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for joining the revolution. We'll see you right back here.